What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to Thursday night's late night agenda. I hope you're all keeping well. I hope life is treating you well. Apologies, I'm a couple of minutes delayed. I was just dealing with some horrible little prick on Twitter who I needed to put in his place because, hey, shit happens, but there you go. You know me, ladies and gentlemen, I do like to speak my mind. I hope life is treating you well, as I said a moment ago, ladies and gents. And as I always say, stuff moves quickly in Liverpool land, and there's so much news for us to get through. You take one day off and then boom, news comes all over the place. Cash Boy was supposed to be on last night, but it was my fault this time, ladies and gentlemen. Stuff came up. I couldn't stream yesterday, so I do apologise for Cash not being able to come on. Cash will be on next week. We're just trying to arrange a day because with myself and Connor being in London for a few days next week, we're just trying to figure things out. But again, apologies for last night. How are we, everybody? Welcome. Subi's in, Doug's in. How are we? He's doing his pre-show Eye of the Tiger routine. That's it. Sitting in front of the camera, Stephen going, "You can do this, mate. You are a legend. Go on, mate. You can do this. Be better, Craig. Be better." Sitting in it. Then I start winking at myself, mate. Couple of songs, as you've said. That's pretty much how the warm-up routine goes. What have we got? Kieran Bailey said, "Hello, Craig. How was your day? Score and afternoon." I'll go through the preview of the game, mate. Don't worry about that. I've got my score prediction, team prediction. Loads for us to get through. Now, let me start off the stream properly by wishing a very happy 33rd birthday. I know a lot of you people out there like hearing Irish people saying that phrase. To an absolute legend of a Scouser, a Brazilian Scouser, one of my favourite players to have ever represented the club. Lucas Leiva turned 33 today. Happy birthday to Lucas Leiva. I love the guy. Absolutely love him. Still going strong at Lazio. And hopefully, I think I've a feeling, I'll be sneaky suspicious he'll come back to the club someday for a bit of coaching or something like that, because his kids, keep forgetting this, his kids are born and bred Scousers. You absolutely love to see it, and I love the guy. I've made no secret of that in the past. 33rd birthday to him. Happy birthday, Lucas Leiva. Still going strong. Right, look, let's go through. What do we want to start with tonight? Do the transfer roundup? You want to start with the transfer roundup for a change? Kieran Quigley said, "Is anybody leaving Liverpool?" Well, Ryan Brewster, mate, as we know, has gone on loan to Swansea for the rest of the season. What else we got with this one? Aston Villa are said to be interested. Nope, that's a different thing. Sorry. Where have we got? I'm looking through my notes here just to see if there was any other little bits and pieces. There was one other Liverpool player, younger player linked with a move, but it's after slipped my mind, mate. Right, transfer news. Let's get straight into it because I know that's what a lot of you people love, like myself, transfer hound. Right, transfer news roundup. So Klopp won't be doing much in the January window if, rumours are to be believed. But, and bear with me, there's believed to be maybe a breakthrough with regards to the summer and the potential targets that Jurgen Klopp is interested in. So let me start off with the big one. Jadon Sancho is probably the biggest legitimate link, and the echo mentioned of Jadon Sancho's desire to come and work with Jurgen Klopp. Now, I don't know, again, take everything with a massive pinch of salt, but put 2 and 2 together here, and sometimes putting 2 and 2 together we know comes up with 6, 7 and 8, but on this one, Sancho wants out of Dortmund. I think we're all happy with that one. Dortmund have come out this month and said that there's no way that he's going to be leaving in January. And with Nike and Liverpool having their new collective kit manufacturing deal coming in January the 1st, I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, dare we think about this one? It really does seem to me like there could well be something to this one. We've seen Mr. Anga Fjortov come out a while ago and say that Liverpool were the front runners in the Jadon Sancho situation. And in Germany, it's believed that they think Liverpool are top of the list of clubs for Jadon Sancho. I'm happy about this, but I never want to let myself believe. And there is an alternative to Jadon Sancho. And again, I've got to come to you guys for your take on this. There is an alternative to Jadon Sancho, and that alternative seems to be Bayer Leverkusen's winger, Leon Bailey. He's been mentioned as a possible cheaper alternative to Jadon Sancho. Now, I don't ever like to hear that phrase, cheaper alternative, because where we are as a club right now, with the money we're bringing in, with the TV income, with the Champions League run, with the new Nike kit deal, I think we should be well able to afford a player of the ilk of Jadon Sancho, even if it is in excess of £100 million. So I don't like to hear the phrase cheaper option, but sometimes the cheaper option can end up in the long term being the better option. I'm not saying that's the way this one's going to run out, but Leon Bailey is a very, very good footballer. Obviously not as far along in his development as Jadon Sancho with regards to the impact he's having in the Bundesliga specifically, but he's a pacey player. And I don't know. Obviously I want Sancho. These two I want Jadon Sancho, but there's Leon Bailey, there's talent there, there really is. I want to come across to you guys on this one because I'm not sure if Leon Bailey will make the mark, but one thing we can say for certain is if Kloppo pulls the trigger on this one, if he does look at Leon Bailey and go for Leon Bailey, we can be fairly certain it'll work out because Klopp doesn't really make mistakes. 100 million for Sancho was a waste, said Ryan Walsh. We've only got 12 fit players at random loop. We've got a bit more than that, mate, and we'll go through the Spurs team selection in a couple of minutes. Happy New Year to you as well, Jake Kismet. Right, what have we got on this one? Bailey has an attitude problem, don't want him anywhere near us. To be fair, City, the same could be said of Jadon Sancho. Again, I don't know these guys personally. I'm just taking any information I get from stories that we've all read in the media. Jadon Sancho has had a couple of issues with Borussia Dortmund with regards to showing up late. He came back from international duty late at one time. He showed up to training late. He's been sent to train with the younger team at one point. So we heard the same about Ousmane Dembele as well. We heard the same about Daniel Sturridge before he came to Liverpool. And Daniel Sturridge was nothing but quality when he was at Liverpool. He was great around the younger players. Always had a smile on his face and didn't cause any trouble that I'm aware of when he was at the club. So take these things with a pinch of salt with regards to attitudes and stuff like that, particularly with younger players, because let's put it this way. If you're a younger player, 14, 15, 16 years of age, you're coming through and you're going to be a superstar, people blow smoke up your ass. You're surrounded by yes men. You're surrounded by people who just want to move you on, make another buck off you. And sometimes this can get to younger players. And sometimes people mature at different ages, specifically with lads anyway. I know at 15, 16, 17, I would have been a little shit if I had any success whatsoever. So, yeah, 100 million... You take into account the fact that Jadon Sancho is English. That does play into this. His marketability will be massive as well. He's already ranked. Remember we did the CIES Football Observatory list of the highest rated transfer targets. I think Jadon Sancho, if I remember correctly, was 4th or 5th on that list at around the 100 million mark. So he's well thought of around Europe. So yeah, I don't know. Craig, you hit 280, I'll donate. I don't know what you mean, FIFA God. 280 what, mate? Sorry. If it's thumbs up, then hit that thumbs up button and make this fucker put his hand in his pocket, ladies and gents. We want to get those numbers up. We want to see Mr. FIFA God donate. I don't know if you're donating to charity, mate, or what you're donating to, but I like to see people put their hand in their pocket. Right, more transfer news. Sevilla centre-back Diego Carlos has come up again, and it's believed the figure there will be around 60 to 65 million if Jurgen Klopp wanted to go and bring in another centre-back. I'm of the belief that Dejan Lovren will probably be on in the summer. Is it a little bit early for the likes of Sepp Vandenberg, Keanu Hoover? Can Nat Phillips make that step up to be fourth choice centre back or even further? I don't know, but I'm just giving you the transfer gossip that I've read. And then one more name, a bit of a blast from the past, but still a very good young player, and that is Sandro Tonali of Brescia. Again, loads of clubs in Italy specifically looking to get this kid tied up on a deal. He looks like a real baller, I have to say. I've no idea what type of price could be talked about here for Tonali, but he's a name that's been linked with us for the last couple of windows, and again, I'll leave it up to you guys. I'm sure you guys have watched a shit ton of videos on this guy, because I know you guys, you like to be up to date with things that are going on. So let me know what you think about those transfer targets. Jadon Sancho, Leon Bailey, Diego Carlos and Sandro Tonali. There was a couple more as well, but these are the four that I thought were the most topical that we can have a chat about. Hey Craig, Saturday afternoon, Tottenham 1, Liverpool 4, Salah to score, said Kieran Bailey. The donation is another can of diet chab for your collection. Well, you can never have too many of those, so cheers to you. Am I doing a call-in tonight? No, Cash was supposed to be on last night, but it was my fault that it didn't happen. Something came up for me and I had to go and do something, so couldn't have Cash on, unfortunately, but she will be coming on next week. We're just trying to tie down a day. Craig, I'm having nightmares of Eric Dyer missing the midfield this Saturday. I'd never worry about Eric Dyer doing anything of note, mate. He's not a great footballer at all, to be fair, in my humble opinion. Casper said Diego Carlos seems a perfect replacement for Deggsy Lovren. Again, it's pretty strong, these links to him, and it's one of those ones again that popped up out of nowhere. Not one that I'd known too much about, if I'm being honest, but we have seen these before. The Firmino one came up out of nowhere, the Minamino one popped up out of nowhere, but then we heard that Liverpool had been in talks with Salzburg since November. What else have we got? Did you see Ricky Gervais of the Golden Globe spitting facts I didn't see the actual Golden Globes, but I'd seen a few of his tweets on the follow up to it that he was roasting Hollywood liberals. And hey, that's a bit of fun. That's what Ricky Gervais is there to do. He's a comedian. His job is to take the piss and be funny. Angus Core 23 or 123, excuse me. Thank you for the super chat, mate. Do you think we'll win a double this season? This must be probably the most asked question between this and will we go invincible this season. They're probably the two most asked questions. Do I think we can do it? We can do it, yes, Angus. Whether that double is... Look, I think we'll all agree. Let's just start at the start here. I think we'll all agree that the Premier League is probably done and dusted. I think whatever your thoughts are, maybe you're a little bit sceptical about this, maybe you don't want to celebrate just yet, I get that. But at the back of your mind, you know, I did a rough calculation on this earlier on, and we'd probably have to drop 25% of our points between now and the end of the season to give Manchester City any chance of catching up, but I just can't see that happening. So let's agree for a minute that we'll probably win the Premier League. So we'll park that over here. Then it's a matter of, is it the FA Cup or is it the Champions League? I don't know how seriously Klopp was going to take the FA Cup. Some people have the mindset that he put that team out against Everton and was probably not expecting to get through. Although I don't ever believe that. I think a manager will always put a team out that he thinks can get the job done. And in this case, thanks to young Curtis Jones, they did get the job done. The Champions League's a very tough competition to win, as we well know. I don't see us winning the FA Cup, if I'm being honest. We could win it, but I don't see it as being a priority. So the double could potentially be the Champions League and the Premier League. But as I said, I'm not going to go out on a limb and say that we will win the Champions League because it's so hard to win. What I will say is it's going to take a very good team to knock us out over two legs. And I don't think Atletico Madrid are that team, personally. I think we'll get past them. I don't think they're the same Atletico that they were a few years ago. But that being said, there's still plenty more good teams, plenty more quality teams left in that competition. So we are European royalty. We are the best club in the world as things stand. People can debate that all they want, but that sexy ass gold badge on the front of the shirt doesn't lie. Do you know when Firmino will be back? I think he's back running, Joshua. And again, thank you for the super chat, mate. I think he's back running. I don't think he will be able to play on Saturday, but I think after, maybe United would be more of a realistic option for him. But again, everything I say, mate, please don't take it as gospel. It's just opinion based on the few bits and pieces that I've read and the press conferences and stuff like that. That guy who needs 1k said swap Salah for Sancho. I don't think, this is just a guess, mate, but one, I don't want to lose Salah, but I don't think Salah would want to go to Dortmund at this point in his career. Again, no disrespect to Borussia Dortmund, but it is a bit of a step down right now if he was to go from Liverpool to Dortmund. If Mohamed Salah ever did leave Liverpool and does move on, my gut instinct suggests Spain, obviously. I've always thought, and I had a conversation with Connor about this the other day, certain players you can see in certain shirts. Salah looks lovely in a Liverpool shirt and suits him very well, but you could also see, if he moved on, potentially in a Real Madrid shirt. Never really be able to see him in a Barca shirt. Maybe that's just me. But look, I want him here as long as possible, and I don't want to swap him or Sadio Mane for anybody. What have we got? Think Minamino will debut against Spurs. Love the stream, said Missing Name. Thank you, mate. Thank you so much for that. I don't know. No, I'm going to say no, and I'll explain why when I go through my team selection in a few minutes, mate. But it's not because I don't think he's good enough, put it that way. I think it's just a little bit too early, perhaps, to drop him into that game. I do think he'll see some minutes off the bench, though. Is that Turkish goalkeeper coming to Liverpool? Kakir, that gentleman from Trabzonspor. Again, another player, mate, who's been linked with us over the past couple of windows. He has spoken about it. I think Trabzonspor's president or somebody has spoken about it as well. It's one that confuses me a little bit, if I'm being honest, because obviously Alisson's going nowhere, and he's our number one. Adrian is working out pretty fine as a backup, to be fair. So is there really a need to go out there and bring in another goalkeeper? I mean, is Kakir an upgrade on an Adrian? Yeah, probably, but I'm never going to question Jurgen Klopp's transfer policy, so if it's who Kloppo wants, great, but I do love Adrian, to be fair. He really has just fit in at the club when he's come in, and his personality seems great. He's very humble, really nice fella by the looks of it, and I like having him here, and he hasn't let us down yet. Doug, super chat from Doug. Thank you, Doug. Said speedy recovery to Harry Kane, horrible injury. Yes, I'm like Doug in these, and look, there's no denying that no Harry Kane on Saturday would be a bit of a benefit to Liverpool. But I also never like to see a player pick up an injury that'll keep him out of the game. So, like Doug, I absolutely wish Harry Kane a speedy recovery. FIFA God said I didn't watch last was at the match. Nice one, buddy. Congratulations. I can't wait to get over in April for the Villa game, mate. But again, thank you for the super chat, FIFA God. And it feels weird saying that, FIFA God. All bow down. But thank you, mate, and welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the game. I'm sure that you did. Brian's not holding back. He said, "Fuck Harry Kane." Fair enough, mate. Each to their own. I just don't ever want to wish anybody an injury. I'll make no secret of the fact I'm not Harry Kane's biggest fan. I've said that a few times. I think him and Dele Alli are two of the biggest culprits when it comes to diving in the Premier League. But again, I don't want to see any player getting injured. It looks like he's going to be out until around April time, by the way. He has to have an operation on, is it a tendon or something like that in his hamstring? Karius is being recalled too. Again, Lord Jimmy, I'm not sure if that's 100% correct. It's very difficult to gauge what's going on at Besiktas. Sometimes you hear stories about them wanting to keep Karius on, then the next week you're hearing stories about them coming back. There was talk of unpaid wages. There was talk of them not going to trigger the loan to buy deal that was agreed. Either way, if he does come back, he'll be moved on pretty quickly, I believe. I think from what I've read, I've said this a few times as well, there are clubs in Germany that will be more than happy to take him over there. How much am I paying for the Villa game? I'm pretty fortunate, and I've said this before, Daniel, mate. Somebody in the chat kindly offered us their tickets for that game, so yes, I'm fortunate in that they're not costing us anything, truth be told. Connor Nibbler, how are you, sir? Said, "Hey Craig, hope you're well, pal. Got confirmed today that I'm going to Liverpool in May and I can't bloody wait." Again, delighted for you, Connor, mate. Well in, enjoy it. I'm sure that you will, and hopefully May is a special time to be in Liverpool. You know where I'm going with that, don't you, buddy? Adama Traore or Serge Gnabry would be a better choice in my opinion. Traore, I'm not a massive fan of Gnabry personally. I don't know if it's subconsciously because he didn't really work out at Arsenal, but there's no denying when he moved on, he's done very well in Germany. But Traore, I would like to see out the season before I made a decision. Not that I have a decision to make, but I'd like to continue to watch his progression for the rest of the season with Wolves. To see how Adama Traore gets on, because there's no denying that the guy has something about him. It's just a matter of whether he can keep that level up. But he looks like he's a beast, isn't he? And when he gets going, you don't really stop him, particularly when he gets past the first man. Stephen Craig said, "Wonder when the Nike shirts will come out." Well, officially June the 1st, but I get where you're coming from, Stephen. They will be leaked a little bit earlier. Keep an eye on Footy Headlines, which is a good site for stuff like that. That's where I look for all my shirt information. They very rarely get it wrong. What have we got? Hi Craig, you could argue that Atletico give us a good game because they just done it against Barcelona and beat them 3-2. Is that what that game finished up? I knew it went 1-0 to Atletico, then it went 2-1 to Barcelona. But Barcelona, and Doug messaged me this as well, they are a pale imitation of themselves. I think we broke Barcelona. They just don't look like the same Barcelona. And Valverde, as Doug said, how is he still in a job? I don't know. I watched them play against... Who was it I watched them play against recently? Espanyol. I watched them play Espanyol, and Lionel Messi basically walked around the pitch for the entire game. And I was very disheartened by that because I'm a big Messi fan. I think he's a sensational footballer, but I just think they're getting to the end at Barcelona, and much like Real Madrid, I think they're going to be in a whole world of trouble. The Premier League has pushed on, and I think it's gone past every other league. I think the Premier League is where it's at now. And look, there's no denying Messi's the GOAT, in my opinion, without a shadow of a doubt. But the Premier League has the highest concentration of quality players, and I think the strongest clubs, and this is why you've seen English clubs dominating in Europe last season, and I expect them to do so again this season. Right, more of your comments. Like said, they'll not release the kits until New Balance had finished the contract with Liverpool. Again, I agree with that, mate, and it will be disappointing that we don't get to wear the Nike shirt for the last home game of the season, which is generally when the club wears their new shirt for the following season. There was a similar situation, I think, with Nike and Adidas around Manchester United a few seasons back when they changed over. People are easily impressed these days. Player has 5 good games and he's the best thing since sliced bread. 100% agree with you there, Time Crisis. Yeah, look, we are football fans. We're all reactionary, aren't we? And we're all hypocrites as well at the same time. Let's be fair about it. But yeah, a couple of good performances. The value goes through the roof, and there's links all over the place. This channel is the place to be, said Mr. Bugsy. Thank you, sir. You're a gent. Really appreciate that. Shay Trainer reckons that Messi fella should come to Liverpool. Oh, can you imagine him in a Liverpool shirt, mate? He's been a joy to watch over the years. He really has. Angus Court said he would love to see Sancho at Liverpool. I'm not going to lie, mate. I wouldn't mind him. Now hashtag Sancho 2020 or hashtag Mbappe 2020 would be pretty fucking cool, wouldn't it? What have we got? Is it Ymir? Excuse me if I mispronounce it. Ymir said, I'm a United fan. Welcome, mate. We welcome everybody to the show. Xhaka is a perfect example. Xhaka is, look, I'm going to say this, and like I've said it many times, Xhaka is awful. I just don't get how anybody rates him as a footballer. I don't get him. I put him in the Marouane Fellaini category of footballers. If we were to sign Jadon Sancho, where do you think he would play? I think he would fit into the central attacking midfield spot nicely, said Bradley McIntosh. It's very difficult to say, mate, because I have to admit I was very surprised to see Minamino playing through the centre against Everton in what is, I suppose, the number 9 role. I would have expected him to play in the role that you're talking about, or one of the wide forward positions, so I dare not even guess where Kloppo would play Jadon Sancho if he came in. Yeah, it's difficult. I hate to second guess Klopp, because just when you think you've got him figured out, he'll make a little tweak or he'll move somebody around. And when we signed Bobby Firmino, I don't think any of us really thought we'd see Firmino playing through the centre as an out-and-out number 9, really. Although a very special, different number 9, but he is a number 9. Danny Murphy said Granit Xhaka would be quality for Liverpool. Danny Murphy goes on TalkSport, so I don't really give a shit about anything that Spud has to say, to be fair. As soon as you go on TalkSport, for me, you lose all credibility around anything Liverpool, but that's just my opinion. Can Minamino play the 8? Yes, he can play the 8, he can play the 10, he can play, I suppose, what we call the 7 and the 11 as well, Casper. Left wing Mane, Salah, Sancho, right wing Firmino, centre attacking midfielder, said Dan LFC 18. Would I like to see Manchester United good again? Shit no, mate. I hope you guys rot for as long as possible. Again, mate, this is just banter. I'm not having a go at you. You seem like a very nice fella. But no, I don't want Manchester United to succeed. I want them to crash and burn for as long as possible. I've no incentive to see Manchester United become good again whatsoever. There's a lot going on at United there, mate, that needs to be resolved, and I'm sure you know that as a United fan. Boya said Danny Murphy is a clown. Again, that we see eye to eye on so many things, Boya, and I think again on this one, I did like Danny Murphy when he was at Liverpool as a player, I'm not gonna lie, but Spud, in my opinion, does talk a lot of tosh. I don't want to be too disrespectful to Danny Murphy, because I hate to be disrespectful of any Liverpool player, but I just don't like TalkSport, and anyone that goes to TalkSport for me is part of the fucking problem. Load shedding in 5, lol, welcome to South Africa. That, I don't know what any of that means, Steve or me. Craig Gomez is the Mbappe of defence and Havertz is the Mbappe of midfield. Do I agree? No. I always sound really harsh around this conversation about Joe Gomez. I love Joe Gomez as much as the next person, but to start throwing around world class and stuff like that, which a few people have recently, I think it's too early. He's got loads of potential, Gomez, and right now that centre-back shirt is his alongside Virgil van Dijk, and rightly so, because his level of performance has deserved him to keep that shirt. But world class, I don't know. And I know you didn't use the phrase world class there, mate, but yeah, I don't know, it's too early. It kind of goes into this whole thing about playing a few good games and then people getting worked up a little bit. Who do I want in January? I think I'm quite happy, honestly, mate, who we brought in Minamino, and I keep going back to this £7.25 million, an absolute steal. I'm also happy that Ryan Brewster went out on loan, because I really want to see him get the game time that his talent deserves, and I fully expect him to be a success long term at Liverpool. I don't want to see Curtis Jones go out anywhere because I think that he can try and force his way in and make himself a thought in Jurgen Klopp's mind for those midfield positions. Did I see Seamus Coleman shouting out at a person in the crowd at Anfield? I didn't. No, mate, I didn't see that. What else have I got? Who do you think Liverpool can lose to? Anyone. I mean that honestly, mate. The Premier League is a very, very competitive league, and I very rarely go into games assuming that we're going to steamroll teams. We've seen it with Manchester City. If you drop your concentration of your levels for even half an hour, against Norwich, you can be beaten. That's why the Premier League is, in my opinion, the best league in the world. It's anybody can beat anybody on the given day. For Gomez to be world class, he needs more consistency, said Joshua Gomersall. I agree. And to stay injury free. Not that that's his fault. Christ almighty, it's never a player's fault when they pick up an injury, but he does need to get a consistent run of games as well for a prolonged period. Electricity will be switching off for 2 hours. Such bad time, and I need a battery operated router. Oh, Stephen, yes, I've got friends in South Africa who've told me about that situation before, and you're with us now, mate, for the time being, so hopefully the electricity stays on for a while. Would you take Cantwell, asks Ellie Anthony. He's been linked with some big clubs, actually, young Cantwell. It's so difficult to gauge this. Like, I mean, the level that we're at right now, it's fucking peak, like, and for anybody to come in and realistically have a chance to force their way into this team, they've got to be pretty fucking good, you know. And is Cantwell there yet? I don't think so, you know, not yet, but I think he will end up in a top 6 club. Genuinely, I think he is a good player. I just don't know if we'd have the time to develop him. I'd love to see Milner start over Oxlade-Chamberlain, said Brad. Is he okay injury-wise? I know, I was wondering, had he recovered enough? Obviously, he went off with what looked at the time like a knee injury, but I think it turned out to be a muscle injury or cramp. And I don't like those three starting together in midfield. I don't want to use the phrase that people use around those three in midfield together, but I don't like to see Milner, Henderson and Wijnaldum play in midfield together. It just doesn't sit right with me. But yeah, look, let's go into the Spurs preview now, ladies and gentlemen. We'll go back and deal with the transfer stuff in a while. So look, let me go through my starting 11 and my score prediction for the game against Spurs on Saturday. It's a 5:30pm kickoff, obviously at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. No Harry Kane for Spurs, which is a benefit to Liverpool. There's no denying that. Although I want to reiterate that I never want to see or hear of a player picking up an injury, because I don't want teams having excuses either, because I want to beat the best, and to beat the best, you want to beat the best when they have their best. But hey, we can't do anything about it. So look, my team prediction for the game against Spurs, it was really difficult, this one, because one, we're running out of bodies in midfield, but even at that, I still had a difficult decision to make in midfield. In goal, Alisson Becker, very straightforward, no arguments there. I think you'll all agree with me that the back four should be Trent Alexander-Arnold, Virgil van Dijk, Joe Gomez and Andy Robertson. Pretty straightforward. Coming into midfield then, it's one, it's a matter of who's fit, and then two, I suppose it's a matter of personal preference. And for me, I'd like to go balls out and go with them straight from the off. So I've gone with Jordan Henderson, Gini Wijnaldum and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain for my midfield trio. I know Chamberlain is only coming back from an injury, but I thought maybe Kloppo might be able to get 60-65 out of him and then perhaps make a change. The other options I suppose to put in there are Adam Lallana, who played really well against Everton. We've got to give him credit for that one. But as I said, I want to go balls out and attack in this one, which is why I've gone for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. And then up front, Mane, Salah, Firmino. That doesn't really change, does it? I know a lot of people will want to see Minamino come in and play, but again, he's still integrating into the squad. Although 70 minutes against Everton was fairly impressive, I'd rather see him come off the bench perhaps for the last 20-25, something like that. Score prediction wise, I've gone for Liverpool to win this game by 3-1. I usually in my predictions give the home team a goal, even if I do predict Liverpool to win in these, because I don't know, I think it's almost courteous or something like that. But I'm very confident going into this one. Spurs are a little bit rocky at the minute. Obviously they got a bit of a bounce when Mourinho came in. But they haven't looked like the Spurs of last season at times, and obviously with Harry Kane being out injured, that will massively impact the 11 that Mourinho puts on the pitch. I think Son is back from his suspension, if my memory is correct. Eriksen's head seems to be all over the place right now. He's been linked with moves to Italy and elsewhere, so I don't know if Mourinho will give him a chance. But if he does, we're not seeing the same Christian Eriksen that we did in recent years. So yeah, I'm confident going into this one, and how could I not be confident? I mean, you're talking about a Liverpool team here that have played 20 games, won 19, and drawn 1, which is ridiculous. I think if we win this game, we break the record for the highest points start to any of the top leagues in Europe. Again, happy to be corrected on that one if I'm wrong, but I'm sure I read it somewhere. After that, another thing I played around with my team selection was maybe the idea of taking out Chamberlain and dropping in Curtis Jones in there, because I have every belief in that young man that he'd go in there and do himself proud and not let himself down at all. And we'd seen in his post-match interview after the Everton game that he's chomping at the bit. He says he's almost feeling disappointed when he doesn't get as many opportunities because he believes in himself, and you want to hear that, and you need to have that. I struggle to use the word arrogance here, but you need to have that a little bit of arrogance perhaps in what you do. Believe in yourself, because you're talking about the very, very highest level here, and that goal against Everton will have done his confidence the world of good, as will scoring the winning penalty against Arsenal at the Cop End in the League Cup. And as I've said before, like Graham Brewster, I've every faith that Curtis Jones will be a Liverpool mainstay in years to come. So again, I was tempted to just drop him in there instead of Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, but that's the 11 that I've gone with. I'm going to hand it over to you guys to get your score predictions and see what you feel. Just a reminder that we will be doing a watch along of the game starting from about 5 on Saturday, so I hope you can join us for that one. Make sure to subscribe, make sure you've got those notifications turned on, and give me your thoughts in the comment section below. Right, ladies and gentlemen, what have we got? Scotty's gone Alisson, Trent, Gomez, VVD, Robbo, Hendo, Gini, Chamberlain, Mane, Salah, Firmino, and 3-0 to the Reds. Rabadan, thank you for the super chat, mate, said Jose will park an epic bus, but we'll take him. I don't know if this Spurs team are capable of parking a bus, mate. They always seem to have a little mental lapse in defence. They're not the same defence that were rock solid for Spurs many, many moons ago. Well, I suppose in recent years in the Premier League. Yeah, they look a little bit shaky this season. They look like they can be got at. So even if they do try and park the bus, like you've said, I think we'll be able to get at them. When is Keita back? Again, Magnus, I've been keeping an eye out, but I haven't seen a definitive answer on that one. I wouldn't imagine it's too long though. It wasn't a really serious injury. Cape Town Muslim said, am I the only one nervous about Mourinho? Perhaps. So I suppose going into these games, I'm just not nervous really anymore, because we've such a lead in the Premier League that we can afford to drop some points here or there. I mean, I don't want us to. The players won't want to. The manager won't want to. But we can afford to do it. And if we do lose or draw, it's important that we don't lose our heads. We remember that, we're fucking human. This shit happens. And it's just move on then to the next game and try and pick up the next 3 points. And thankfully for us, the next game after Spurs will be a nice handy one at home to Manchester United. So, there's always that to look forward to. Dave Sweeney said, I think Lallana needs a rest. He's a better player only doing a game or two unrested. Play Curtis the Curler. Curl it like Curtis. I like it. Rodders has gone 1-0 in his prediction. Cam Vlogs has gone 3-0. Tottenham's defence won't be able to cope with our front three, said Jack 0000. Have I talked about Bailey and Sancho yet? I have, Billy, but I'm happy to circle back around, mate, towards the end of the stream and have another chat about it. If Spurs do a low block, if Shaqiri is fit, I think he'll play, said Neil. Again, I'm not Shaqiri's biggest fan. I think he can do a job coming off the bench. I just don't want to see him starting games. I just don't think he has the same impact. Similar to how some people feel about Divock Origi. They think that he's more impactful coming from the bench. I kind of feel the same about Xherdan Shaqiri. Craig, would you rather go unbeaten or break the points record and win the treble? I want the points record, Ibrahim. I've said this from the very first time we started having these conversations. Going and being invincible would be great, but going and getting 101 points or more would, in my opinion, make us the greatest Premier League side of all time, because we'd have put the most points on the board. Hopefully we can give Spurs a spanking, said Casper Hansen. Hopefully, but again, just pick up the 3 points, mate, however that might come, and roll on. What have we got? Hoffa 41 said, man, Goldbridge is angry these days. I don't blame him. If I was a United fan, I'd be losing my fucking mind as well, because there's so many obvious things that you can see going wrong there at the club. Like, let's take Ashley Young as an example. So Ashley Young was linked and may well be going off to Italy, but Manchester United offer him a year's contract. He's dog shit. Oh yes, he's a captain of your football club, I get that, but his best days are way behind him. Ashley Young should be somebody Manchester United are almost ringing a taxi for to get him over to the airport to go to Italy to get that deal done. I'm baffled sometimes by their policies. Morton Ederson said Son or Mora could cause problems, but will defo win this one. It's Spurs, mate. I'm always confident when we play Spurs. They're always entertaining games, but I'm always confident we'll get the job done. And if we do win, this will be another stadium we can tick off in our list of stadiums that we've gone to and won. It'll be a new stadium for us to pick up 3 points in if we get the job done. Liz Golden has gone 3-0 and Hendo to get a goal. He's due one, Liz. He's definitely due one, and his performances have deserved one. He's been class lately. Actually interesting to see the what was the club's name again? Who was the people we played in the semi-final of the World Club Cup? Not Flamenco, the guys before them. Who were we playing in the semi-final? Whoever we played in the semi-final of the Club World Cup. Sorry, mine's gone blank for a second there. Their manager came out and said that Jordan Henderson is the best Monterey, thank you, Doug, the best midfielder in the world in his position. And I like that. Fair play to him. Dave Smith said 2-0 to the Reds. I think your team will be more or less right. I usually get at least one wrong, Dave, so it's probably at least one in there. Do you think Minamino could play into the Oxlade-Chamberlain in my 11? Yes, Fran. He could definitely play in the attacking midfield role. Whether he will